overlooking all the greenery. Cause the masters, they were handed down to me. But I'm still fly, I know. I'm still fly, let's go. You can all be worse, I can be a hater like you. It could all be worse. Supposed to make the man, but that poison's gonna kill you. From the inside out, so right now. Say it with your chest now, say it with your...
Alright guys, so that was the sound demo of the SB1000. If you guys have watched my channel, you guys know that I've never owned a sealed subwoofer before. And let me tell you, it is quite the experience. You guys can see that if you see my other videos, you guys know I have the PB4000s from SVS. Those are the big boys, the 3 ports at the bottom. You can seal them, of course, but it's not a true sealed box. This is my first time ever listening to a sealed box, and it's really honestly a treat. If you guys haven't listened to a sealed box, definitely do that, because it's a lot more impressive than you'd think. So let's start off with that movie demo. So that was A Quiet Place, and if you guys have been here for a while, you guys know that's my go-to movie demo when it comes to subwoofers, because they put a lot of LFE, a lot of Dolby Atmos in that ending part of that movie, and it really tests your system and tests your subwoofers. And I had them cranked up a lot, and I'm sorry that I couldn't do a longer demo of this. I do have 3 other people in the apartment, so I don't want to get any kind of trouble. But for what it is, this subwoofer actually performed very well. Again, this is a 300 watt RMS speaker with 720 watts peak, so not a lot of power, but a lot of Excursion, high output Excursion driver, and it did very well with that scene. It sounded very tight and punchy. I can tell that it doesn't have a lot to give. Even in my small room, it's still struggled to really produce a lot of output. But for what it did do was very notable. I was very impressed with. It was able to vibrate a lot of my room. It's very good, very punchy. I did feel it in my chest a little bit, so I was very impressed. I didn't know what to expect going into this review with the subwoofer, but I was very impressed on what it could do. And I mean, look at its size, guys. It's 14 inches tall. It's 14 inches wide, and it's 14 inches deep. It's a small speaker, and I was able to, I smiled through that whole performance. So it's very notable. I can't speak on every sealed box. This is again just tailored towards the SVS SB1000. So I'm talking about this speaker only. It sounded absolutely phenomenal, even a sealed box for movies. So don't think that you can't get a sealed subwoofer for movies, because you can. So let's go on to that frequency test that I did. I did from 1 hertz all the way up to what, 80 or so. And what I wanted to do with that one was just see its limitations. How hard could I push it? Not necessarily listening for too much, but how hard could I push it? And I gave it all that I could. I cranked it up maximum on the amplifier back here, and then I turned it up pretty good on the amplifier in the closet, the Marantz, and it gave me a good amount of output. Now again, I could see its weak point was its power. It can't give you a lot of SPL, but it will give you enough to make you happy. But I did start to hear distortion at high volumes. That driver really didn't have a lot of space within the cabinet to really move. There's not a lot of cubic feet within this box, so there is limitations when it comes to its total output. So when I was cranking it, I did hear that driver start to over-excurt, meaning when it moves back and forth, it was moving more than its capabilities at some frequencies. But it did sound very good. From 1 hertz, of course you can't hear much under 20 hertz, but from 1 hertz up to 80, it was a fairly smooth response. There wasn't really any peaks or any dips in the sound. It actually sounded very smooth across the entire frequency spectrum. And that's what they boast is an accurate sound, and it sounded very good across all frequencies. It's rated down to 24 hertz, so I didn't hear a lot underneath that. But right at 25 and up, it really started to perform, and it stayed very smooth from 25 up to the end of the clip there. So I'm very impressed. Again, it doesn't have a lot of power to give, so it's not going to, rattle your teeth, but it will give you some really good quality sound. So the last 2 clips you guys saw was the music demo, and I didn't have a lot of time for this demo because again I have everybody home for the evening in the apartment, so I couldn't turn it up like I wanted to or play it as long as I wanted to. But what I wanted to hear was just the quality of sound. How accurate was that sound? How detailed and punchy was it? So the first song was a jazz piece, and it sounded very good. I'm not going to speak about the speakers, that's a whole other video. We're going to stay focused with the subwoofer here. It was very good, very articulate, very accurate. This is where it really shines. people say that the SB or a sealed box is where the music really comes out. It's what they're more tailored towards, is the music. So of course it's only right if I did a music test. And yes, it stood up to that testament. It does sound incredible for music. You guys can see in the clip when I showed the subwoofer, it wasn't really moving a lot, and that's because it doesn't have to. This subwoofer does very well with music. This is where it's strong suited at. Maybe not so much for movies because it doesn't have a lot of power to give, but for music, 300 watts RMS is perfect for music because usually you're not going to crank it up too much. So it's a very musical speaker. That second piece that I played for you guys, that second song, that's where it really shined. It got a little more bass heavy, it had a little more transient bass in there, and it sounded really, really good. No complaints with that. That was really where it shined for me. The whole room was filled with really musical bass, and I stress musical bass. And what I mean by that is that it's not just flopping everywhere. It's not muddy. It's very accurate, very articulate, very fast, very quick, and that's what you want, especially out of a sealed box. That's what you expect. So this performed just like I thought it would. Absolutely beautiful sound. I wanted to listen to more, but of course I couldn't. But maybe in my own time I'll listen to some more. But it sounded very, very good and didn't have any issues playing that music, any of the low notes or anything like that. So hopefully that transferred over to you guys in the YouTube video. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed my kind of review for this speaker. I do want to say one thing though. It does have a grill on here, and if you guys take a look, it has a little bit of like a brown mark on the top of here, and so that I'll have to note that. It is a white speaker, so it's going to show dust and dirt a lot easier. I haven't really touched the subwoofer. It's just been sitting at my desk since I've got it in for review, and I haven't really touched it, and it's still kind of collected dust. So not many people get a white speaker, or maybe not many people have a white grill, but you will collect dirt and dust very easy, or at least be able to see it very easy. But I did have to note that. It's not a SVS thing, it's not a complaint or anything like that, but I just wanted to note that for you guys. So that's going to do it for this demo. The last time you'll see the speaker will be in the 2.1 Prime wireless system that I have in for review. We're going to put these together with the small little bookshelf speakers and see how they perform. But other than that, guys, this is my review on the SB1000 from SVS. It is a sub to reckon with. I know this has been around for a while, but I don't want nobody to forget about it. It's still a contender out there, even in 2020. So guys, if you're looking for a sealed box or maybe a small subwoofer, definitely take a look at SVS's sealed boxes. They're small subwoofers. They perform well over their price point in my well, some of them do, in my idea, in my opinion. So, guys, take a look at this, guys. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this speaker. Would you ever buy a sealed subwoofer, or are you more of a ported person? Let me know that in the comments down below. Leave me a like if you enjoyed the video, and if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Subscribe already. We'll see you guys in the next video. Kpaceguy out. Peace.